You will pay the price if you don't learn to love learning. Hi, I'm Lars from Leader Insider, and in the past year I read about 100 books, attended several seminars. Most of them were over 4 days long, and I took several audio programs on the topic how to become a better version of yourself to ultimately serve others. And today I want to talk about how to really get to love learning once and for all. Because I know many people like myself have the same issue with our school system. We were forced to read a book about uh, Agnes, it was called, and I really hated it. I thought it so boring. And then because of all these frustrations in the school system, I'm like, I hate learning. I must hate learning because school is about learning, and so I must hate it. But maybe it's what the school system teaches us to really don't like this stuff. Most people spend their lives a lifetime figuring out such thing, but I want to give you right now the shortcut because I personally believe that like this problem, most of our problems are not so individual as they might seem. That's why I want to give you these insights to be at least aware of these problems because I personally believe that awareness by itself can be curative. Hey, if I'm aware that maybe it's not me who hates learning, it's the school system actually that teach me, hey, learning must be boring. I must sit there like and just hear somebody and maybe take some notes and then get into a daydream and think about much more pleasurable things I want to do. Yeah, maybe we learned it. So you may be wondering why I produce all of these videos. Basically, I want to live from it, and the real important thing for me is that if I really can help one soul, one individual, every hour, every second I put in this YouTube channel is worth it for me. And like my mentor always says, knowledge is only potential power. Execution trumps knowledge every day in the week. So if you don't act upon this knowledge, it's like another basic Netflix session, another YouTube binge. We all had another binge on social media. When would now be a good time to actually do it, take notes, repeat it over and over again? So let's get started right now. I personally started this journey because I was in university and I'm looking left and right and I was like, is this, is this, is this all it is? After this, I studied computer science. After this, I start programming like the whole day, and this was it. Everybody was thrilled about it, but I thought maybe I want more. It was even more boring than in school. In school, you had some friends, some people who you could spend time together, but in university, there were all these adults at the first glance that were like, yeah, we're better, we are adults now, and so on and so on. So I was like, I had the problem that I really did not enjoy it, but I thought, yeah, this is maybe how it is. Learning must be hard. Learning must be some cruel thing. But then I watched a YouTuber. His name is Klängern. It's a German YouTuber, so you don't need to make the effort to Google him. But if you're German, he does some great stuff. I watched him and I really liked him at this time, and he presented the book. And I was like, yeah, I'm not a reader, I don't like it. Yeah, maybe because I had these associations with books that we were forced to read. I personally find them really, really boring. And so had thought, hey, most of the books must be boring, but he actually catched me because I really liked him and he was really into this book, and it was Quality Land. This was the first book after school I read, and then there was a love relationship because I myself really get information when I read it, and if I write it down, it really sticks into my head. So it I was thrilled about this book. It was so interesting. It had a great story. I could imagine things. And why don't they give you at school a book that just that you decide? You go in the bookstore at school for a task, and then hey, why don't you take something you find interesting? And if you find something that in the first glance was interesting, and on the second thing where you read the first chapter, it was not that interesting, why don't you take another book until you find something you really like? This might be a good guidance for where your life should end up. Quality Land was the book, and it's about futuristic society uh, where where a company like Amazon overtakes everything with robots and so on. And now I'm currently working with AI, KI every single day. It's like the thing I should do. So what teaches this us? To really start to love learning, we need to disempower these old associations we have with it. Learning is fun. Actually, learning is a human need. We either grow or we die. And another thing we need to consider is if I actually learn something to improve my life, I can improve the life of another person. So learning, like I always tell at the beginning, learning is only potential power. Execution is power, but without knowledge, I don't know what I don't know. Without knowledge, I can't possibly teach anything new to a person. So to improve their life. But I want to get them to the execution stage. This is the important step, to execute, to act upon your knowledge. And what's really interesting about this knowing thing and learning thing is, hey, I feel certain every book I read, it's it is .com secrets right here. I'm having several books here, so this is just one I grab by. And every book I read, I get new insights. I personally have to believe I'm only one insight away to really get my life to another level, to really enjoy it on a whole nother thing. It's like the flat line everybody talks about when you're grinding and doing this kind of stuff. Yeah, it exists because at the beginning you have so much momentum, and but someday will flatline. This is where the learning comes into. You learn more and more to really get going. So to create those insights, to really be curious about, hey, one insight could change my whole life. This might be the most fascinating thing I could have probably get from a mentor of mine. One insight can change it all. One insight could make your relationship a whole nother level of depth. One insight could transform your whole business. One insight could transform your whole personal life, your professional life for the better. Just one maybe new outcome, one new question a book has to offer. And here's the secret. Jim Rohn once told, if you really want to fail in life, read what failures read. Read those Twitter, those magazines, read Insta, read those memes on Reddit. Read this stuff like the failures did. But if you want to be successful, read what successful people read. Read those books. We must be curious because there are not so many books that are actually good. everyone can write a book. We must be selective about our books. A great selection mechanism I often talk about with my friends about it, how they select books. Hey, when someone references a book, then I really am curious about it. Because if someone I really find intelligent references me a book and he says this is really great, hmm, then this is a great sign to start. Another sign to start is I actually have a series where you can watch like the best books I read and those this greatest insights. So they might also be a great way to start. Or what I personally love most about learning, seminars. Not these kind of seminars where you sit there, take notes, and just daydream again and like in school. Those kind of seminars where you're actually doing it, where there are like workshops, where you're acting upon this knowledge. So what we need to, how can I make up good or bad seminars? Attend them. Pay the price because this is a great thing. I earlier told a friend of mine, he's like 17, he's a great, he's really, really intelligent. He's 17 and has his own business. I don't know how it works because he's not even allowed to have one, but he's really driven and I truly respect him. So I lost thriving about this friend. So what I wanted to say is pay the price for the seminars because if I'm giving you this free knowledge here, your attention span might be nice, next video and so on and so on. But if you actually paid 200, 300 bucks for this knowledge, you want something out of it, don't you? And so you notice things you otherwise wouldn't notice. The price is really a great denominator to get people, hey, actually listen to you. So, and basically this wraps up the whole thing. How to start love learning. I gave you my journey, what's helped me loving learning. I have the certainty, hey, e- every book, everything I notice can be new insight. I have the variety. Every new book, every new knowledge will transform my life for the better. And I don't know where it came from. I have the significance. Hey, no one reads as fast and as many books that I am doing. And for especially those variety of books, this is what I'm really proud of. And I can actually share this knowledge with the loved ones I have. And ultimately, I'm growing constantly when I learn, when I get these great knowledge inside my brain. Thanks.